What would you say to people that would say, well, sometimes lawyers make things worse, and if there was no lawyers, then people would find find a result, an amicable way to make things on their own. Like obviously, that's quite reductive
Right.
for
Well,
for how relationships work. I'd love to hear your opinion on that
I
perspective.
I agree with the first part of your statement. Sometimes lawyers do make things worse.
Right.
If you asked around Hillsborough County, where I do a majority of my practice, I practice all over the state of Florida. A majority of it's in Hillsborough County and Tampa Bay area and the surrounding counties. We all know who the bad lawyers are. We all know the lawyers that are going to run up a bill and create conflict and not try to settle. It's no surprise. The lawyers know it. The judges know it. The community, if they've been around divorced enough, they'll start talking and they'll know. But when you're looking for a lawyer, it's really hard to know if you're getting one that's going to help solve problems or help really create problems.
Wow. And how have you seen some of these more, I guess, nefarious lawyers create problems? Like what are things people should be aware of when looking for a divorce attorney?
You should, when you have your initial consultation, you should have a list of questions that you want answered. Part of those questions, and you want that lawyer to do the majority of the talking, because if you just call and tell your story, you don't know how they practice law. You don't know how they're going to deal with you. You don't know whether they're just telling you what you want to hear. So the first thing I would ask them is, tell me what the process is of divorce and any substantive issues I might have to deal with. Let them explain Divorce 101 to you. They should be asking you some questions along the way, like, for example, parenting plan. Do you have any kids? If so, how many? How old are they? Are there any special needs? What do we need to know? What has been historically the parental roles in the marriage? And in Florida, there are like 20 some odd factors that the court considers in determining what's best interest of the child. Just recently in Florida, they passed a statute, which is now law, that is, or passed a bill that is now law, that is a presumption of 50-50 time sharing. Judges all over the state are looking at that differently. Some judges are like, yep, 50-50, unless it's really bad, or, alcohol, addiction, location, just can't get the kids back and forth.
Right.
But other than that, don't come to me about putting them to bed late or feeding them ice cream for breakfast, right?
Right.
But when you're talking to the lawyer on that first consultation, how do you handle cases? Do you get along with opposing counsel if you know it? What is your reputation? How much do you think this will cost? And all lawyers will tell you, well, I don't know, because is the other side going to cause problems? The more litigation, the more fighting, the more, is a problem. You do not necessarily want an aggressive lawyer.
Yeah.
You want an effective lawyer. And a lawyer that's going to be aggressive and run up a bill is going to argue over everything, like, what date are we going to take depositions? You can argue about that and run up a bill just trying to clear a date.
Ugh.
It's just ridiculous. So there's things like that that you need to be careful for.